Ball denial from Anunoby, 5 on the 24. Green off the bounce, drives inside, he banks it home. Timeout Knicks, 6-point lead.
Hello everybody. The Jimmy Warriors keep on rolling. The Knicks had no Jalen Brunson but managed to tie the game late in the fourth. Steve Kerr with his hand, an angled chopping motion, signaling angle pick and roll. And then he points at Draymond, so Draymond knows that he's setting the screen. Angle is a wing pick and roll. Draymond sets the screen in order to bring Karl-Anthony Towns into the play. Jimmy Butler does get the switch, but Karl-Anthony Towns is dropped way back, just daring Jimmy to shoot, and Jimmy's three-point jumper is still in transit from Miami, so Jimmy thinks the better of taking this shot. GP2 sort of open, defensive recovery from Josh Hart. GP2 tries to flow this into a standard Warriors action called a gaggle. GP2 is supposed to set this cross screen for Steph, and Steph's supposed to dive, but McBride is doing everything he can to stop Steph from cutting to the basket, including just grabbing him. Josh Hart steps over to make sure Steph doesn't go anywhere. This leaves GP2 open, which is exactly what the Knicks want, and GP2 decides to just throw this hand grenade to Moses Moody with less than 5 on the shot clock. Moses Moody guarded by Bridges. It's time to make something out of nothing. Jimmy Butler brings his defender along, and then Moody picks up his dribble, which really makes it look like he's going to do this dribble handoff. Mikal Bridges hesitates. OG Anunoby goes with Jimmy Butler to deny him the pass, which lets Moses do this really outstanding step-through move, the hugest bucket of the game. This play is an example of the challenges of running a lineup with 3 players that are not guarded as shooters. If you replace GP2 with Jonathan Kuminga, you definitely get more options, but this is a preview of the way that potential death lineup would be guarded.
On the drive, oh, what a shot from Moody!
Let's do an emotional wellness check on PJ Tucker on the Knicks bench. I'm sorry to report that he had an aneurysm. Cat sets a screen for Bridges to get GP2 to switch to Cat and Draymond to Bridges. But GP2 goes into ice, where he just denies Bridges the use of the screen to force Bridges to drive where Draymond is ready to receive him. Bridges rejects this false duality and chucks a ball over to Cat. Draymond's still staying with Cat. Now they're going to try it again. Cat sets another screen on GP2. This time he nails him. Draymond is catching up to Bridges. Josh Hart tries to back cut Steph Curry. And Draymond has an interesting decision to make. Does he cover Josh Hart or does he help Steph with Bridges? And in the end, he just splits the difference, and Karl-Anthony Towns is trying to back cut GP2. And this is all getting a little too complicated for Mikal Bridges. He says, I can hit this shot, but he doesn't. Josh Hart, rebounding machine, saves this ball. Everything is scrambled now. Cat runs out to get the ball. Draymond is a step slow, and he points to call for a switch, but neither GP2 nor Moses Moody reacts. So Draymond tries his best to catch up. Cat has 1 second to launch this open 3, a shot he can definitely make, but he doesn't. Let's do a wellness check on Steve Kerr, who watches Cat pop out for a completely open 3. I'm sorry to report that he had a nervous breakdown. Well, the Warriors got lucky there, so they go back to picking on Karl-Anthony Towns in the pick and roll. Draymond sets the screen. Towns tries to contain Steph, and Mikal Bridges follows Steph because no one ever got fired for following Steph Curry. Draymond tries to position himself so that he can get a pocket pass from Steph, but Steph ends up deciding to keep this, and he finds a seam, and he can definitely make this layup, but he doesn't. So Steph and Draymond end up in the stands. The Knicks have a 5-on-3, but they run this in the worst possible way. They've got 2 people running in the same lane. They've got another 2 people running in the left lane. It's just kind of a disaster. By the time he throws it to the middle lane, Payton is able to cover Hart and Cat at the same time. Moody's picked up the other man. Bridges gets up in the air without a plan, puking up this hairball of a pass, which Steph Curry almost manages to intercept from off camera. This turns into McBride ISOing Steph. Steph does a good job to funnel McBride into Draymond's help at this spot. Draymond's rotation means that McBride picks up his dribble and he goes for the awkward shot, and of all people, Steph gets the block on this play. Big defensive stand. Draymond and McBride fell down, so it's a 4-on-4. Moody flows this straight into your classic split cut. Passer in the post, Moody screens for Steph, and Steph is very open. Defender tries his hardest to catch up, but Steph does the side Steph, and Steph just did not have his shot today. Steph lands awkwardly and ends up again in the crowd. The Knicks have another 5-on-4. Karl-Anthony Towns decides it's time for maximum aggressiveness, and GP2 quietly stalks his prey. You can almost hear the shark music. GP2 says, "I believe you have my property," and knocks the ball free, which goes straight to Draymond, and Cat fouls him. Draymond sinks the 2 absolutely massive free throws. The crunch time Knicks are just a little discombobulated without Brunson. Bridges is pointing. McBride thinks, oh, you want me to go get the inbound pass. But Bridges keeps on pointing, and McBride doesn't know what he wants. Josh Hart doesn't know what he wants, and he gives a big shrug. Communicate with words, my man. And Bridges finally communicates that Hart has to come set this screen. Bridges clearly wants Steph to switch to him. Steph's job is to funnel Bridges into the help at the low block, which would be Jimmy Butler. That's a convenient thing about having Draymond and Jimmy Butler on the floor. Even if you put Draymond out here with Cat, you still have a good defender waiting to rotate. But Draymond is supposed to dig at Bridges' dribble as he goes by and ends up fouling Bridges. Steph instantly calls for the review, but he Hield with the internationally recognized symbol of protest against injustice, jogging intensely like you're waiting in line for the bathroom. Thanks, buddy. Steve Kerr, as he's starting to challenge it, Draymond reaches out and says, "Hold up, man. Don't let him cook. I fouled the guy, all right?" Did I mention that the Knicks are discombobulated without Brunson in crunch time? This looks like a straightforward inbounds play. Cat sets a screen, Bridges curls around, but somehow McBride throws this pass behind Bridges. GP2 smells blood in the water, or leather in the air. Anyway, he deflects the pass, goes up again, and Steph ends up with the ball. Huge game-saving play. Steph says, "Moses, rotate this ball to Jimmy." But Anunoby is denying the easy pass. Time is running out. So Steph changes his mind and says, no, throw it to Draymond. So Moses throws it to Draymond. Steph sets the too small screen on Cat. Cat goes under the screen. Draymond's trying to attack the little defender, but McBride is hanging on for dear life. He is not leaving Steph for love or money. So Cat has to take the long way to meet Draymond at the other side of the screen, and that gives Draymond just enough space to drive past Cat and put in the huge layup. I guess we might as well go straight into a celebration audit. Draymond instantly into night-night mode. Let's do a quick check on Draymond's technique. If we look at Draymond's technique compared to December's night-night against Minnesota, his technique is dramatically improved. His hands are lined up nicely, and they are softly nestled where you might actually rest your head. This is in sharp contrast to his rougher technique earlier this year. His hands are misaligned. These fingers are way too high. This isn't night-night. This is more like he's adjusting his antenna on his tinfoil hat to get better reception from alien transmissions. His old technique probably scared little children. So all in all, excellent improvement. And it just goes to show that even the Hall of Famers never stop working on their game. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And if you didn't enjoy this video, I promise I'll do better next time.
Finally, what did you think of Draymond dropping a night-night tonight?
Nah, that's what we said in the locker room. Draymond do the nightmare. He's
evolved his version of it since the Minnesota game earlier in the year. He softened it a little bit. He's brought it down to where a pillow is supposed to really be. He realized he does everything aggressive and with his whole body, so I'm giving that a solid A- effort on the night-night tonight. That was beautiful.